with another episode of On the Regular with Tiffany and Kevin. And I'm here with my favorite kidney advocate, a true kidney advocate. Doesn't work for industry.
Nah.
Doesn't work for any company, not a pharmaceutical company, not a dialysis company, not a diagnostics company.
Work for the people that want to know.
He works for and advocates for patients.
Yes.
That's it.
People that want to know what's going on with them and
that's right.
what they could do and how they could handle it.
Because he is a patient.
That's right. I'm a former kidney recipient.
Yes.
And
he received the gift of life.
Yes, because I was walking around looking like a pumpkin. Swollen.
And you look amazing.
I look a whole lot better now than I did. I remember we took family pictures right after dialysis and stuff, man. I didn't know I looked that dark and I was like, wow, man, why y'all I don't know why my wife would want to wait at that time to take family picture. I'm like, we need to do that all over. Scrap that.
First of all,
that, dog. Scrap that.
Edie Ballard is a saint. And if she took pictures with you, you should be thankful.
I tell you what. She's very instrumental in my health and my career. I remember the first episode I did of Martin was because I did the episode of Martin, and that's the one when they introduced the characters when I went into the refrigerator and I had his sweater on, and I had to say. I took my shoe, I put the shoe on the table. And Martin said, bro, man, I know you got your shoe on my table. And I was messing with my toes. And my wife told me, she said the night before, she said, you know what you have to do? Like when you mess with your toes, like smell your hand. And I said, what? She said, do it. And I didn't do it all during rehearsal. I did it the day we shot in front of the audience. And we shot in front of the audience, I did it. And if you look at that episode, Martin was trying to hold his laugh in, and I was holding my laugh. And at the end of when the audience stopped, because they was crying, laughing, and if you right after that, they slowed down, you can hear me say, I kind of broke character. But if you got to really look at it to see, and that was because of my wife, man. That was the biggest laugh of that show right there. Man. And that's how they brought me back on the show. So.
And you became a recurring character.
Yeah, recurring
you were just supposed to be on.
Yeah.
I remember that was one of my favorite shows. It still is one of my favorite shows. My kids, they just picked it up on Netflix.
They just found it. That's like my kids.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
They were like, okay, so my kids have met Reg.
Yeah.
And my daughters, they're 14 and 12 now. And I think when they met you, they were like 10.
Something like that.
They were like 10 years old.
Yeah.
10 and 12. And so anyway, because we had known one another a little while before, I'm really careful about who I introduce my kids to.
Exactly, you have to be.
So we knew one another maybe a year or two before I introduced the girls to you. And so they met him and were like, oh, Mr. Reginald, he's so funny and smart and all of this stuff. Yeah. But they didn't. When they saw Reg on Martin, they were like, oh, he really is funny.
Yeah.
And I was like, you two are...
That's crazy. Yeah.
So
and people don't even realize I only did 12. I only did 12 episodes. People think I did like I was on there every day. No, I was on there 12. I did like 40 episodes of Bernie. I did more Bernie Macs than I did.
You were always on Bernie Mac.
I did that a lot.
You were always on Bernie Mac. That's what I was like.
3 episodes of Parker, the Parkers, and ER, NCIS, Bones, Las Vegas. Whole lot of shows,
the
but
Parkers
people know
funny.
that. Yeah, people just know that Martin thing. They know that I can't get away from that one. It's like all of the stuff I've done, dramatic stuff, and
that character was just over the top.
Yeah.
And they were.
People know people like that. People know somebody always come over your house.
Everybody knows a bro.
Yeah, just go in your refrigerator, take what they think they need. And
I ain't gonna say who our bro man is, but yes, we got us a bro man
everybody got
too.
that, right? Everybody got somebody like that. So yeah. But my wife, she been with me since. I mean, we left college. I was on a play in college. I did a soldier's play. And then I booked another play I was going to do called Raising the Sun. And I told my wife, I said, I'm going to, let's go to Hollywood, let's go. And she said, what, are you serious? I said, yeah. And I told my friends, I said, man, I'm finna go to Hollywood and hang with Stallone. And the next time you see me be on TV, I left. As soon as I got here, the first movie I did was Stallone. Next time I seen him, I was on TV. And the craziest thing about it was, right here in San Antonio, the guy that I told that to, I came here to do like my second comedy thing that Vance had hooked up for me. And I came out here, it was at Fort Sam. And we did the show, and that's when I seen my dude in college, man. I said, the next time I see you, I'll be on TV. And he came to the show, I was already on Martin.
You know,
that's how it happened.
And that's the power of your words.
Yeah,
And
just like I said, when I said about diabetes, I thought I was going to get it. I thought I was going to be the one that have it, and I end up getting it. And this how this thing worked for the TV. I'm like, I'm going to go there and do that, and I end up coming here and work with Stallone. All I did in the movie with Stallone called Lockup, and all I did was held a gun on him. That was the only. I had no lines. I just held a rifle on him.
But
that was it. I was in there. Yeah, I was with Stallone. Exactly. I was with Stallone. I got to meet him, and it was cool. So that's how it went down. And then, I mean, when I started trying to do comedy, and we was driving. Another instrumental moment. My wife. I was driving that night. We was going to this comedy club. And I was so nervous, I was petrified, man. I was just driving. She was telling me, "You're gonna be good. You're gonna be funny. Watch. You're gonna do it." And I'm just like tunnel vision. I was hearing. The only thing I was seeing the road, but her voice was echoing in my ear like a slow motion thing, and that made me had a confidence enough to keep driving. Because if she probably went in the car, I probably would have turned around and went live and said, "Yeah, I did it, and it was good." But you
had your hype
but she
woman
was there.
with
Yeah, I had my hype person. She's right there. Yeah, she's right there with me. My hype person. Yeah.
There's something to be said for being a really good combination and being equally yoked with the person that you're with, because you both have vision.
Yes.
And both are like, okay, we're in alignment on this.
Yeah. The 19th, it'll be 37 years on June 19th. Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
37, man. I'm
37
like,
years.
37 long years.
Don't even play. It's been 37 beautiful years.
37 long years. Sometimes I feel like choking up.
I bet Kevin says that about me.
You can't do it. You can't do it, man. I be thinking of ways how I could just get out of here, Freeze a Snicker and just throw it upside her head.
You can't do that. She gave you a kidney.
Evidence, I know she gave me a kidney. And she'll never let me forget that one, boy. I gave you a kidney.
Oh, Lord. Well, tell us a little bit about, like, what drove you from there? I mean, you started with Martin, but where did you go from there? Because there's a lot to that story.
Yeah, it's I knew I wanted to be an actor since I was in the 4th grade. Ever since I seen my first Bruce Lee movie. I'm a big Bruce Lee fan. I know you guys seen me on you watch the show, you seen my Bruce Lee backdrop.
Yep.
So from then on, I never told anybody though I wanted to be an actor. I just kept it to myself. And even when I got ready to leave to come from University of Missouri, because I went to SMU my first 3 years, Southern Methodist in Dallas, and then I went to Missouri, transferred my last year, and I didn't even tell the theater professor, Dr. Ruffin. I didn't even because I was booked to do Raising the Sun. He was getting ready to start production. I didn't even tell him, man, I was leaving. I didn't tell nobody that I wanted to be an actor, because I didn't want nobody to try to guide me into a way that they thought I should go, because everybody thought I was going to the NFL. When I called my aunt, told me we was coming to California because we needed to stay with her. I said, we coming out and we need to stay with you for a little while, probably, a couple of weeks. She said, she was trying to talk me out of it. She said, I think you should go to the NFL. You got a better chance. And I have a friend out here that's an actor, and he's not making it. And she went this long little soliloquy. And I was like, okay, we'll be pulling in Friday. Because I didn't want any, this thing, if you get a lot of negative information, a lot of negative thing going into your programming you in your head, then you might have that inkling to say, well, you know what? I ain't gonna do it. I'm just gonna go do what they say. So I never told anybody. My mother knew I wanted to play football and run track. Mm-hmm. I had a little piece of paper written on the wall in my room when I was a kid, and every time I walked out the wall, I looked at that paper, said football, track, movies. And I used to look at it every day when I go out. And I don't even think my mother paid attention to that.
But that was what
to the movie part, yeah.
That was what you wanted to
that's
do.
what I wanted to do. And so I'm happy the way things went, because we got the death penalty at SMU, my football program. We the only team that ever got the death penalty in NCAA history. And they
What's that?
They have a big special on ESPN. They got this segment called 30 for 30. Mm-hmm. 30 for 30, they talk about different sporting legends and events and all that. Well, ours is one of the 30 for 30s called Pony Excess. And you'll see me on that. It's Pony Excess. We were the only team in NCAA history to this day to get hit with the NCAA death penalty. And death penalty at the time is when they kill your whole football program for illegal recruiting violations, because they said that we were getting paid to play. So they did this big investigation, man. The governor of Texas at the time, Bill Clemens, he was in on it. And it was so big that you had some major events happening in Texas, you know, at that time. And that was in 1987. So people that know about it, they know when you say death penalty. And that's we the only team that ever happened to. So
wow.
Oh yeah.
So what do you think about the name, image, and likeness stuff now in light of that? You know, you had this death penalty thing happen, and now here we are in 2024, and players, and that's essentially players are able to make money, off their images, and their time playing.
Yes.
I think they should be able to make money off their images.
Should be able to make money. I remember when we first moved to California, we passed my aunt lived by USC. Mm-hmm. First passed by there, we like, wow, this is a nice campus. Now you go by it, all those buildings that was around USC is now a part of USC. They done built all over, and that's because of that football money.
Yes.
So why athletes, they are right now way too late though, you know, because we suffered. All my teammates had to transfer to different schools in order to continue to play, because it took a lot of hours from us. You know, I couldn't graduate because I needed 24 more hours to transfer that wasn't allowed to transfer from one school to another school. So a lot of us, you know, we just got caught into the system, and you just had to do what you had to do.
But when you look at this, they should be able to make money from that.
Oh yeah.
Just like anything else. Now I can tell you I wasn't in sports, but I did fundraising and worked for Baylor University and Rice University. Yes. And so I know how much money was made on game winning. Yes. Baylor had terrible teams back in the 80s and 90s, late 80s and early 90s when I was there. So I was at Baylor like 96.
Oh, you was in the 90s, yeah. We played Baylor in 85. We played Baylor every year because they was in the Southwest Conference.
And because everybody could beat Baylor. It was always a good experience for y'all to play us.
But if you notice, there's no Southwest Conference anymore.
No, there's not.
You know why?
No.
Because the SMU death penalty.
Oh.
Once we got death penalty, the whole Southwest Conference crumbled.
Because I remember it crumbling. That's
what happened. That's the effect of the SMU death penalty. They talk about all that on ESPN, and I don't think there'll ever be another death penalty. I don't think the NCAA will ever come down. It was so bad when the guy, the representative from the NCAA, when he announced that SMU death penalty, when he announced it, he walked off the stage and passed out. Wow. That's how much pressure that was on him to do that. Oh, he just fell out. They had to go over there and it was all the news people, the colleges from all over the country was coming to try to recruit us to come because they knew we couldn't play no more, and all the news people, all the cameras was in your face. Kids didn't know how to deal with that. Yeah. And I thought, when I saw myself on the news at that time, I was like, man, I'm fat. That's what I thought. And I look at it now, man, I was a little old bitty dude. It was like an athlete. He's like, man, I'm like, God, I thought, man, I got to get back in the gym, man. I look fat. But yeah, and that happened to us, and but it was a blessing for me. Because it enabled me to go to another school. Before I had to leave SMU, I needed 3 hours of transfer. So I took an acting for non-majors. My first time taking acting, something I knew I wanted to do. I took acting for non-majors, and I got into class. SMU is like a predominantly white school. All the kids in there white. So me, man, I'm trying to lighten up my fear. So I bust in the door with two of my boys. I said, y'all be the best actor in this class. I was just joking. I'm trying to like break the ice, because I got in there and
I started. I did
a monologue.
Again.
I did a monologue. And after the monologue, it was so good that the class started clapping. Wow. And then I woke up from the monologue. I realized, man, I'm in the classroom, but I went that deep that I was thinking I was doing the thing, right?
That's sinking into your craft,
And right then and there, I said, that's how I made like straight A's in the class. I mean, I was making C's in all my other classes, but I made straight. I said, this is what I want to do, and I'm pretty good at it. So when I went to University of Missouri, that's when I started really, honing down and taking theater classes. And like I said, the first play I did was Soldier's Play. Y'all know it by Soldier's Story. Remember Soldier's Story?
Yes.
But it's really called Charles Fuller's A Soldier's Play. And Denzel and them turned to the movie and it became A Soldier's Story. And I played C.J. Memphis up in there. Yeah, the guy with the blues guy.
Your range as an actor, like the way that you are able to sink into a character and just be that person. That's why people still think you're Brahman.
Yeah, right.
They think you're Brahman,
right,
because you just transform whatever role you're playing. And see, that's the part that I always point out to people. Like, do you have any idea what a prolific actor he is?
Yeah,
it's
and it's funny because a lot of people do think that. A lot of people do think. Oh shit! I'm sorry.
It's okay.
A lot of people do think when they see him on the street, they be like, "Hey man, you ain't. Yeah, I thought you." I said, "No, dude." And like a lot of little kids, one time they came, the kindergartens, first, second grade back in the day. They thought that Martin found me on the streets and gave me a job. I was looking at Issa Rae and they were talking, and Nori. They were talking on the show, and they got this little show they do, and Nori, Issa Rae saying, "Yeah, the guy that do come through the window, I already know, his name and blah blah blah, and Nori said, oh yeah, his name, blah, blah, his brother, man, yeah, see Martin, he was Martin bodyguard, man, see Martin, he's his bodyguard, and Martin them came and said we need a part to do this here, and he came up, and then the rest was history." Like, man, I wasn't Martin bodyguard.
That's not what happened.
No. And she's like, oh, okay. Now she got that in her head. She probably was looking for me to hire me for a part or something, what I'm saying?
Girl.
Now she think I was just a bodyguard.
But oh, wow. It's because you sink into that character and they're like, oh no, but that couldn't be a character.
Yeah.
That has to be who he is.
I know, right.
It has to be who he is.
And I ain't
that's
mad
what
at that.
Being a great actor is.
I'm not mad. And I don't get upset, like some actors get upset when you call them, a certain name. If you call him the name of the cat, like Jimmy Walker, he don't like for you to call him JJ. So, but I don't get mad. I love, I'm from Galveston, Texas, and Barry White is from Galveston, Texas. And Barry White said, man, if you, in the music business, if you create one hit song, he said that's a lifetime of work, say, because a lot of people can't do that. So, if people, I created a character that people can identify with and love, hey man, I'm fine. You can call me bruh, man, if you want to.
And you've had a much longer career than that one character.
Yeah. A whole lot of other things I've done. And
you've worked with so many people.
And I'm writing a book right now. And
what? I didn't know this. See, I told you he's an onion. I'm up to
chapter 4. I still have a long way to go. But and I talk about that. I talk about growing up in the movies. I used to go to the movies every Saturday and Sunday. Watch black exploitation film. That's what they called it back then. I called it Black Gold. But I watched the black exploitation movies and Bruce Lee movies every Saturday and Sunday. And I would watch them over and over. I watch them 2-3 times on Saturday. Go back and watch the same movies 2-3 times on Sunday. And now, you know, when I look back, all the people that I've seen on screen and admired and adored, I worked with.
Wow.
As an adult, you know, I'm like, man, I work with, you know, Brian's song used to bring tears to my eyes. I work with Billy D. Williams, and I work with on Las Vegas with James Caan. You know, all my scenes with James Caan, you know, and I played a boxer that had hematoma. He posed his friend, a brain hematoma. And he was trying to convince me not to fight because he didn't want me to get killed because we were friends. And I'm like, man, I'm sitting here working with James Caan, who played Brian Piccolo, who played Sonny Corleone in The Godfather. Man, I'm sitting here next, we going head to head, you know, acting. And after we got to doing our scene, the director came and told us, man, that scene you two guys were great. Was great. And I'm like, man, because I'm all night before that, I'm like, man, I got to work with James Caan. I'm nervous. And man, I held my own with him and you know, man, he was so cool. I remember I had to eat a steak and I was eating a steak and I bit into the steak. I'm like, oh man, I say, man, this steak, it was like real greasy. You know what I'm saying? Cut the scene. I say, hey man, I said, this tastes like Afro Sheen. I say, well, y'all give me a steak like that. So James Caan, he's like, let me see, Red. And he's like, hey man, why y'all get Red to steak? I'm like, man, James Caan with me, man, he with me, man. So yeah, you know, Fred Williamson. I'm like a big Jim Brown, Fred Williamson, Richard Roundtree. I ended up working with Richard Roundtree. He played on Family Reunion. He played the grandfather of these kids. I swindled. I worked in a pawn shop. I swindled out of their mother's diamond ring. So Richard Roundtree came and locked the doors finna beat me up. I'm like playing a part with Richard Roundtree, man. And
he about to beat you up.
Yeah, about to, man. I grew up watching Shaft, man. Matter of fact, I wore my Shaft shirt to the set. And man, he was so flattered, man, and impressed. I say, man, I'm a big fan, dude. I say, I'm not just saying this. I'm like real big fan. And I was walking to the lot after the show, after the rehearsal that day. I'm going to my lot, and I have my car, and I'm driving off. And he finally behind me. I'm like, oh man, Richard Brown, she's behind me. I don't know why I was nervous. So I'm driving, then I turned off. When I turned off, man, he blew at me, bump, and did that to me. I'm like, man, Richard.
Oh my God, fist bump.
Yeah.
Oh,
so, you know,
fist of power from Richard
all the
Roundtree.
cats, and then Pam Grill. Let me tell you something about Pam Grill. That was like my childhood wife. And we was doing Martin, and sometimes we all sit in the golf cart, and we be sitting down just talking outside on the lot, Universal lot. And she was doing, I think we shot on lot 33, and she was doing something on stage 33, and I think she was doing something on stage 37. So she came out of the dressing room, came down, we all standing around, and she came down, man, talking to us and stuff, and I'm so in awe, I couldn't open my mouth. I couldn't even open my mouth. I was just sitting there, man. Then when she walked out, I'm like, oh man, I couldn't even, this is my opportunity. And I didn't say nothing to Pam Grill, man. She looked at me too. I was like, oh man. But I met
you
all
cute,
those
you
people.
should have said something.
Man, I met all those people I met so many people that I grew up idolizing. And I even worked with the dude that played the episode, that one of my favorite episodes on Twilight Zone.
Are you serious?
Jack Warden. I don't know the episode. Remember the episode when the guy, you ever watched Twilight Zone?
I did.
The episode when the guy was on a planet by himself because he did something, and they had the robot girl. He had the robot woman. So yeah, he was with a robot woman. And man, I ended up working with him. And I was like, dude, I done worked with so many people that I have grew up idolizing and grew up watching. I seen, I remember one time Ernest Schwarzenegger, him and his son was playing catch on the lot, on the Warner Brothers lot. And I went to the commissary, man. I walked by him. He's like, hey, how's it going? I'm like, hey, how you doing, man?
Terminator.
Yeah, Terminator. He had a big old trailer. The back of the trailer had all his weights in there, so it's like his trailer is like the back of a big one of them big trucks, the 18-wheelers. None but the weight room in there for him. So yeah, man. I was looking in there. I was like, man, I done met so many people.
And talk about a life. That's for a kid from Galveston, Texas.
That's all. That's what I'm writing. I mean, I have a story to tell. So
you do.
That's what I met so many people and been through so many things and so many challenges that I'm happy to be here. So if I go today, hey, I done lived 3 lives. I done lived 3 lives. 3 lives.
Well, you know, the thing about you is that if you took all of that away, and I say this in private all the time, and I'll say it here, if you took all of that away, the most important thing I would say that I've experienced with you is that you're always genuine.
Oh, God, it can't be no other way.
And you help people.
You can see through fake.
Well, you know what? I will put it like this. Everybody doesn't always see through fake.
Yeah,
but when genuine shows up and fake is standing there next to genuine,
I know, right?
Fake can't hold water to genuine.
Yeah.
You know, but you help people, and you don't even have to. Like, you're the person that'll call me up and be like, "Hey," because one time I was going along, and I had a message on my voicemail from Reginald. Now, Reg is not a person that leaves messages, long messages. He texts messages, but he doesn't leave voicemails. And so when we probably talk, I'm always talking to you, but we probably talk 2 or 3 times a week, maybe, right? And so there was a voicemail, and I'm like, in all these years, I've never seen a voicemail. Like, I think I may have seen one voicemail.
Is that right?
You know,
Yeah.
And so I was like, ooh, let me stop.
Yeah.
And I listened to the voicemail. And it was Reg saying, hey, I want you to step it up on how much we're talking about kidney disease. Because I don't think people are hearing it. I'm listening to some things and I see people that should have gotten some help and they haven't gotten help. And I need you to reach out to this person, and I need you to let's relook at how much impact we're making.
Because they come up to me all the time after the shows, my comedy shows, and because I talk about it in the comedy shows, and they always come up to me and say, hey man, I have a kidney situation. I'm going through dialysis right now. I don't know where to turn. And, so
and it impacts him, and so he will tell me, and that really has helped us to shape. That's why we were like, the lukewarm thing just kept coming to my mind. You've got to be red hot when you're going in and doing stuff. Look, he's being red hot. He's talking about this and pushing it. You can't just be at home crying and sad.
No.
You got to get out there and make it happen.
Yes.
And that's what we're doing.
Because when you've been through things, it's easier for you to be able to explain and tell people about it. People come to me, ask me about acting, so I tell them about that. They come to me, ask me about kidney disease, and I tell them about that because I know, been there, done that. So it's easy to, to share information. And it's funny because sometimes I'm on the road and somebody called and asked a promoter, hey, I'll be with the promoter in the car. They say, hey man, I need such and so number. I say, man, I give you $200. Give me $200 and I give you his number. That's not me, man. If I have somebody's number and you ask me for the number because you finna put money in their pocket, why should I take that? Take what, 5 seconds out of your day to send somebody a phone number?
Exactly.
Promoters will charge you, man, $300 just to get the number somebody have.